Hello everyone, and today welcome back to my channel. And iPadOS 16 is now available to the public, and that means it's available for the iPad Air 3, iPad mini 5, iPad 5th gen and newer. Unfortunately, the iPad Air 2 and iPad mini 4 are no longer supported. So let's take a look at the download size. Download size is fairly large. It's about 2.74 gigabytes. That's on my iPad Air 3, and it was about any gigabytes or so, but it would depend on the device I have. So let's take a look at the bell number. Bell number is 20B82. So, and we do have the .1 at the end of the version, even though it's an initial release. And this particular update brings a whole lot of new features and changes as well. And we're going to talk about specific to the new iPad update. So anyways, let's get started. First is the lock screen. So when you put your iPad for the very first time after a new iPadOS 16 update, you will be greeted with this nice lock screen. So the time is now bolder and the date is now at the top of the time. And we don't have the option to customize the lock screen on iPad. And we do have a quite new features in there. The first thing we get is a weather app. So I have the weather widget that I have here for some quite ago. We now have the full weather app. So as you can see, here's the weather. So you can see clouds moving in the background and it's a little dark and it's ready to sunrise. So looks pretty much nice. And if you want more information about sunrise right here or cloudy, you can see what it expects for first light throughout the day. Very similar to the iPhone app, and there's something that's been updated all the time. And instead of just going to the weather.com or downloading the third-party apps, we now have the full weather app on iPad. And next thing is Stage Manager. So if you go into Control Center, so you can see Stage Manager, and there's no Stage Manager on iPad. I thought Stage Manager is only available on iPads with an M1 processor, and now Stage Manager is finally available on older iPad Pro from 2018 and 2020 with an A12X and A12Z Bionic chip. As you can see, I have an iPad Air 3 and I don't have the Stage Manager, but that's okay. So let's take a look at the wallpapers. If you're going to back to settings, then go to wallpaper. Then wallpaper picker is the same as from last year or the previous version. Unlike the iPhone on iOS 16, it gets a full redesign instead, but on iPad it's the same. So if you're going to choose a new wallpaper, then go to stills. We only have one new wallpaper right now. We don't have a whole bunch of new wallpapers yet. Hopefully we'll have a whole bunch of new wallpapers in iPadOS 16 in the future. Maybe iPadOS 16.2 or 16.3 or so. And you will notice on the little icon on the older wallpaper, which means now you have to download the older wallpapers for your iPad. It's not installed by default. So unlike the other wallpaper, it's pre-downloaded by default, and on dynamic it's pre-downloaded by default too. So there's some updates to photos. So if you go into photos, and you will see that recently deleted with the padlock, and I deleted any photo from the photo. So if you delete any photo, you will see recently deleted with a padlock if you set a passcode or touch ID. So if you go into recently deleted, now you have to enter your passcode to view this album. Let me click on view album. Let me enter my passcode. You can see there's a recently deleted here, so I have to restore my photos later after the video. And also if you're going back to settings here, then go to your name. I don't want you all guys to show my email. If you're going to iCloud, then go to photos. You can see now there's a shared library. So you can view your shared library in photos. So there's something that's been updated completely. And Apple finally added the option to remove background from image. So if you're going back to photos, then if you're going to any photo, then you go in there. Then you click on copy. Then go to notes. And then you paste it anywhere, like notes or messages. Then you go in here, then notes, then paste it. Woo! Looks really nice. And you can also paste it to, messages and much more. And there's some updates to files. So if you're going to files, and if you're going to downloads, then you click on this list. You can now rename it to, you can convert it to JPG or PNG. So there's something that's been updated completely also. And there's some updates to podcast. So if you're going to podcast, the podcast now gets a sidebar. So there's no more buttons on the bottom anymore. Now the podcast is on the now the podcast looks completely different. That's something that's been updated completely. And if you're going to contacts, there's some updates to contacts also. Now they add the ability to add list. So if you're going to add list, you can add list to your iPad or iCloud or so. But I don't want to do that. So looks really nice. And there's some updates to dictation on magnifier. So if you're going to magnifier, okay, let me place my iPad and my phone there. So you can see right here. But it would depend on your iPad you have. So I have an iPad Air 3 and I don't have dictation on, magnifier. And if you're going back to settings, then go to display brightness. You can see there's an option to change the display zoom. Yeah, you now have the ability to change the display zoom, but it would depend on your device you have. And I don't have display zoom on my iPad, but that's okay. That's pretty much good. So that's everything about iPadOS 16. So anyways guys, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!